Yeah, Brandy, I'll go.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
I'll say it every single time we have a board meeting. I appreciate everybody calling in, and everybody has heartfelt things to say. And I don't think anybody out there that I've talked to in our community has a problem with racism or a problem fighting racism. Sorry, I said that incorrectly. Um, but I do think we have an issue that I'd like to challenge everybody on too. Is what I've experienced in the last couple months has been opposite of what I hear in some of these themes about how we should treat other people. And on such a big issue, I think we have a lot to listen to on both sides. I try to listen to everybody that calls in. I try to listen to what you say. If you suggest a book, I try to pick up on that and look at it. I'm open to new ideas. I'm open to what everybody has to come up with. I don't think we're doing that both ways. And I think everybody's got to sit back and listen to both sides of this, because there's still many people that I speak to out in the community who would not agree with some of the statements made. And see, people say, well, why don't they call in to the school board meetings? Why don't they go on and say this stuff? So many people, just like you talk about at school, we talk about this fear. People have a fear in their own neighborhood, in their own jobs, their own businesses, especially in Newberg, where if they do make a comment, they feel like they're going to get attacked. And I think until we get past that point where we can sit down as adults and talk about this in a way where we don't walk away arguing, and that we can listen to each other, we don't have to come to an agreement, then how are we ever going to teach this to our kids? And to think that we can do that is foolish. I agree. There needs to be give and take on both sides. But right now, we're at a spot in our society where the listening is very thin. And until we get to that point, how do we really look at our kids and say, this is the correct way to go? And there's a lot of things we can do for sure right off the bat. But until we can sit down and be very, very, very civil with people and not talk behind their back and not confront people and just not be attacked. And I think that's a challenge that the school board has to take on right now is how do we get to that point where we can just sit back and civilly talk about these conversations about something that's the biggest topic that we've ever dealt with in my time on the school board, racism. It's a big issue, and it's something we have to do better at, and it's something we have to be strong with, but it's not something we can just fly over very quickly on this and just be passing stuff left and right, when we have to represent the entire community of Newberg. The entire community of Newberg and Dundee needs to be represented. And if we have these conversations, and maybe people on both sides will understand a little bit what the person on the other side is trying to say. And I think until we get to that point, we're in a real dangerous spot if we're going to come off this thing and go straight to talking to our kids about it. Books are dangerous. We can read books on the right or the left or whatever, and we can come to conclusions on those based on what a theory is. But I think we really need to be solid in this. I think that's why these discussions have to be deep and long on the school board. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.